All right, wonderful. Again, welcome everyone. My name is Emily, and I'm the founder of StrongerU Senior Fitness. We have so much to go over today. So let me just briefly tell you a little bit about myself and how I've arrived to being here in front of you today, talking about StrongerU. So I started my career in community chronic disease management. So working with older adults who were recovering from heart attacks, strokes, older adults with COPD, arthritis, diabetes, really any kind of chronic condition that you can think of. And it was shortly after that experience that I found the world of senior living, where I worked as a life enrichment assistant, life enrichment manager, and then a regional manager of recreation, where I supported a team of 49 directors of recreation spread across the country. And it was really in that role that I saw there was a need for quality education tools and resources to support those who are working with older adults and teaching fitness classes. And so first I did a search far and wide to see if anything like Stronger You existed in the world. And that was, we're coming up on our well, actually 7-year anniversary of the Stronger You instructor course. So it's over 7 years ago now, about 9 years ago, as I'm telling the story, I searched to see if anything like Stronger You existed and was surprised that nothing did. And so I sort of sat with that for a little while. And then finally, a few years later, out of what I call frustration and passion, I decided that I would found Stronger You and create the solution that I knew my team, as well as so many other teams, turned out to really, really need. And so, yeah, like I just said, we're celebrating in September. September 1st was the launch of the Stronger You instructor course 7 years ago. And now we're so proud to serve organizations across North America and globally with our education and our class content. So let's get into it. Note, you will get these slides. So if you are a note taker and you're like, oh, I got to get down what's on these slides, don't worry about it. You will get the slides. You will get the recording. And then in terms of questions, please feel free to ask questions as we go. This is for you. This session is for you. I'm here to answer all of your questions. My favorite sessions are the ones that a lot of questions get asked. Actually, I think our last session was like that. We had like so many questions. It was great. That being said, no pressure. If you have no questions, if you're picking up everything, you're understanding everything, everything is crystal clear, no pressure to ask questions as well. Okay. All right, let's jump into it, everyone. So, overview of Stronger You as a company. We are an education company, and as I said, first of our kind globally. And so, we do have established partnerships across the US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and the UK. And so, we specifically serve recreation, activity, fitness, and wellness professionals who primarily work in senior living organizations. And that could be anywhere from skilled nursing, long-term care, to assisted living, independent living, also community-based recreation organizations as well. So 50 plus centers, even gyms, right, are starting to want to have specialized senior fitness programming as our population is aging. And we also work with post-secondary organizations as well. So colleges and universities have built Stronger You into their curriculums. So that way students are graduating as certified Stronger You senior fitness instructors and ready to teach high quality senior fitness right away. And so, what do we do? Well, we provide you with online education and 30 minutes of brand new class content, seated and standing, every single month. There's 4 formats included with our programming: cardio, strength, stretch, and circuit, which is our balance focused program. And we do take a bit of a unique approach with our fitness programming in that it's not just about the fitness, the exercise, or the physical component, but we really try to create a holistic, whole person experience using the 6 dimensions of wellness. So I'll go into our 4 formats and the 6 dimensions of wellness in a few slides here. So ultimately, our goal is to bridge the gap between knowledge and practice. So this is the biggest thing that I saw prior to founding Stronger You is there were so many great senior fitness courses out there, so many. But where my team and others were having trouble was they would go to this course, they would learn the theory, learn some exercises, and then they would still be going to Google and to YouTube and trying to figure out exactly how to put that knowledge into practice. And so that's where Stronger You came in, is we can take someone who's never done this before, give them the knowledge they need, but also the practical application in class content. So taking people from the bottom of the learning curve to the top. And then a lot of what I do when I speak at conferences, when I do webinars for different associations and organizations, is debunking misconceptions about aging and exercise. I hope very soon will be gone are the days where we think of senior fitness only as gentle exercise or stretching. Our population is aging and we need to help them to do it successfully. And to do that, we need to help them to do more than just stretches, more than just gentle exercise. Of course, we will always meet them where they are at in their abilities and help them to progress from there. But the key word is progress from there. All right, let's talk about how to become a StrongerU Senior Fitness Instructor. The first step is completing the online theory portion of the course. They are self-paced modules. They have frequent knowledge checks. So it's really meant that you do a section, we check your knowledge. We do a section, we check your knowledge super frequently because you might do a section, quickly do a knowledge check, and then you're off to teach another class or do another program. And so we want to make sure we kind of solidify that knowledge before we move on. So there's no giant exam at the end where you're just forced to show us how good you're able to regurgitate. We just want to know that as you're going through, you're having that understanding. And you can do it from any device. So a cell phone, tablet, computer, anything with an internet connection. This first part takes about 8 to 12 hours to complete, and most do it over around a 2 to 3 week period around their normal jobs. So if you're doing this as part of your job at work, typically you can do it sort of, come in the morning, work away at it, go do your programs and your classes, come back maybe before lunch, do a little more, have your lunch, come back from lunch, do a little more. People just sort of fit it into the cracks of their schedule. And that's where the multiple devices really helps as well, because you could be in your office doing it on the computer, and then you could be off on a bus trip, and then you're at the mall sitting in the food court and you pull out your tablet or pull out your computer, and you can keep going on different devices as well. Then you get to the practical component where we are really starting to put that theory into practice through the guided practice modules. And so this is where you're learning your first StrongerU Senior Fitness class. And so these are short 20 to 30 minute practice sessions. This part only takes about 4 hours, but we actually recommend doing it over a 3 week period. So it actually is recommended to do this longer than the first part, which actually takes more time. And the reason for that is just the science of how our brains learn. And you learn this in the course of like why we do the things we do. There's everything is backed by evidence and science, and all the reasons why this is the smartest way. Work smarter, not harder. And really, that's because of how our brains consolidate memory. So learn one track and then take a break. We sleep at night, memory consolidation happens. Maybe the next day or a day or two later, you come back to it, you learn the next track. And we found that's really a great way for people to learn a class, their first 30-minute class, versus trying to learn this whole 30 minutes in one sitting. So once you do that, you've learned your first StrongerU class, you do submit a practical video for assessment. Now, this part freaks a lot of people out, okay? So when I have you on an info session, I like to put your mind at ease that this is not as scary as it sounds, okay? We just see this as one stop on your learning journey, and we just want to make sure that it's safe, that you've got the main moves, the technique is correct, your coaching is developing, it's on its way. And so really safety is the most important. And we know the more you teach it, the better it's going to get. So we're not expecting perfection. You don't need to stress yourself out over this. We just say practice, do your best, hit record, send it in. Even if you think you did terrible, send it in. We will tell you if you need to resubmit, because chances are you are way harder on yourself than we will actually be. And it turns out, it felt like you were really messing up, and then we watch it and you really didn't mess up very much at all. It just felt like in the moment everything was going wrong. Okay. So don't be worried about the practical video component, all right? And then once you are certified, you gain access to brand new class content every single month, seated and standing, in that rotation of our 4 formats: cardio, strength, stretch, and circuit. Okay, I'll take a breath there. Any questions on the steps to become a StrongerU instructor that I've reviewed so far, or anything about our company background? You can come off mute, you can put it in the chat.
Hi there.
Hey,
Hi.
Daphne.
Hi. I'm sorry I'm late, but I made it.
That's okay.
Um,
Welcome.
I have a question. So, when fitness instructing the classes, do we go to a location or do we do this on video from our home?
So it depends on your setting, right? So a lot of our individuals work in senior living or in fitness facilities, community centers. So a lot of them do it in person, but we also have people who teach online via Zoom as well. Yeah. Or other
Oh,
platforms.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. The
Awesome.
only thing you
I'd be
can't do
interested in
is
person.
record yourself teaching and posting it to YouTube or Facebook or stuff like that, because the choreography class content is proprietary to Stronger You. But you can teach it live to your groups, like on a Zoom or something like that. Yeah.
I'm more inclined to doing it in person. So,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, in person is great, but sometimes we need the virtual aspect, right? So we get people in rural areas or, all that good stuff. Yeah,
okay,
good question.
awesome.
Okay. Any other questions, guys? Here, I'll take a sip of my coffee. That way you don't feel rushed. You can type in the chat if you need to. New information about coffee. You can have up to 5 cups a day now, the American Heart Association just shared. I'm taking advantage. All right, let's continue on here. Okay. Oop, go back. So now let's talk about the 4 class formats that you gain access to. The first one is Stronger You Cardio. So this program focuses on engaging the heart, lungs, and brain through aerobic combinations set to music. And so this is the program that we have you learn first and we give to you first because we find it's the one that people need the most support around. A lot of people will feel comfortable teaching a stretching class or teaching a strength training class. But what we hear a whole lot of is, oh, cardio, oh, sit and dance. Oh, I don't think I don't have the rhythm for that, the moves for that. And this is, you don't have to have, let's say, rhythm. You don't have to be able to dance. It's not a sit and dance, but heart health is one of the biggest things we need to focus on with older adults. The return on health investment for doing cardiovascular exercise for the body as well as the brain is so amazing. The research is telling us that this is one of the biggest things we need to be focused on, helping our participants to get 150 minutes of moderate to vigorous aerobic activity per week. And that's the hardest thing for a lot of individuals to get. And we also find it's the one that we find instructors need the most support around. So we start you off with this one. So again, we can have that biggest return on health investment. The next program is StrongerU Strength. This program engages all of the major muscle groups as well as the brain through interesting movement combinations. So I mentioned at the beginning, we have this, focus on fitness, but that's such a small part of what we hope to do with you and your participants. A second part that we really focus on is the intellectual benefit, the brain benefit. When we used to survey older adults about 20 years ago and ask them, what is your biggest concern? The number one survey answer we used to get is cancer. They used to be everyone's worried about getting cancer, right? Lots of cancer fundraising, everyone's worried about cancer. Today, when we survey older adults, we asked, what is your number one fear? Alzheimer's or dementia is the top answer, right? We are an aging population. As our incidence of aging increases, our incidence of dementia and Alzheimer's increases along with it. And so people are really concerned about this. And again, the research has shown us that if we engage the brain as well as we engage the body, we can just add to the benefit we're already getting from that cardiovascular exercise, from that strength training exercise. So, how Stronger You Strength might be a bit different than other strength training classes you've seen or you've done is we typically won't do straight repetitions. We do from time to time to give ourselves what we call a brain break, but we would typically do something like arm raise to front raise to bicep curl, repeat. Side raise to front raise to bicep curl, repeat. We might be doing changes in length of levers, changing in small pulses to big curls. So we're trying to add in layers of cognitive challenge to all of the exercises that we do. Because already the cardio and strength has brain benefit, but when you add in that cognitive challenge on top of it, it just adds to the benefit of that. So really when you're taking on and becoming a stronger instructor, it's not just that you're going to benefit your participant's body, but also their brain as well is a big, big selling point when you're out there and you're trying to get people to join your program. if you don't couldn't care less about falls or, physical health, but you care about your brain, you want to be in this class. Then our next program is StrongerU Stretch. This is a three-part program. It starts with a 10-minute dynamic warm-up that warms up all of the major muscles and joints, nice flowing movements. Then we progress to a head-to-toe stretch, so range of motion and mobility focused. And the last 10 minutes is a guided relaxation where you literally get a script. You can read it right off the paper if you wanted to, but what we actually recommend is reading it ahead of time and then delivering it as loosely or as closely as you see fit and sort of in the most natural way that you speak. Just sort of end off with that mindfulness component, some nice purposeful breathing. So that is a very lovely program. And then last but not least, Stronger U Circuit. So this is our balance focus program. We use a ball, like you can see in the photo there, to do drills and exercises that promote improved balance and prevent falls. So I've got some other exciting things to tell you about falls prevention, but one thing I always like to talk about in terms of Stronger U Circuit is a lot of times when we think of a balance class, we think of things like standing on one foot or walking a line toe to heel. Those are actually balance assessments. We can do something like having someone stand on one foot or walk a line toe to heel to assess how good their balance is. But balance is such a small part of why falls happen. And so if we really look at everyday living, everyday scenarios where falls occur, let's take a super common example. Let's say someone's in their chair, they're at home, they maybe have a walker or a cane, maybe that's next to them. And let's say the phone rings and they have to now hear a phone ring, recognize in their brain that's a phone ringing, make a decision. Am I grabbing my walker or my cane? Do I have time? Yes or no? Stand up from that chair, walk, lifting their toes, not shuffling, lifting their knees and answering that phone between 8 to 10 seconds, let's say. Okay. That's a lot of coordination, agility, information processing that has to go on for them not to have a fall. So if they are simply practicing standing on one foot, that is not going to help them to not have that fall in that scenario. And so that's what we work on in in a Stronger U Circuit is agility, coordination, information processing, lots of brain stuff, as well as strength, endurance, that sort of thing. So uh, very, very, you can tell I'm passionate about the falls prevention piece. Okay, I'll pause there again. Any questions about the four formats? Cardio, strength, stretch, and circuit. And you do gain access to all four as part of your certification. Take a sip of my coffee again. Okay, we'll continue on. All right. I mentioned at the beginning that it's not just about the physical dimension of wellness. We really try to create a class where there's something for everyone. Because I'll tell you, I have had so many older adults say, I'll introduce them and I'll say, come to my program. We're having the Stronger You class. And they'll say, oh, Emily, I'm 83. Oh, Emily, I'm 76. Oh, Emily, I'm 92. I'm not going to exercise anymore. But sometimes, if you know what's important to that person, you wouldn't invite them to the program as, hey, do you want to come to my exercise class? For example, I had a resident who I worked with. Her name was Pat. That was exactly her. She never could care less about exercise or falls or fitness, but she really cared about her brain. She was a retired librarian, and she would come to our cranium crunches, to our trivia, to our guest speakers, to anything that she thought would help to keep her brain sharp. That was what was really important to her. And so when I finally told her, I said, "Hey, coming to my Stronger You classes is really one of the best things you can do for your brain." I said, "You can go and check out the research and you're going to see how that is actually more beneficial, bigger return on health investment than doing those Sudokus or doing those crosswords." And so, of course, she had to do the research first, Miss Ex-Librarian. And then she's like, wow, you're right. And so she ended up coming to my fitness classes, not because she cared any single iota about the physical component, but she cared about the brain health. And so, like I've already talked about, that's a big part of what we do at Stronger U. And so it's a big part of what you'll learn in the course as well. Also, the emotional dimension of wellness. So all of the Stronger U classes are set to music that is familiar and enjoyed by the groups that you're going to be teaching. And a lot of research again shows us that exercising to music helps us exercise at higher intensities and for longer durations when it's music that is familiar and you enjoy. So we bring that part in. And so some people will come to the class. I've had participants come, they don't even follow along or do my moves. They do their own moves, which great, you're moving your body, have at it, because they just love the music component. Also, that sense of mastery. They're learning a new skill. It's not so good at first. Then they're starting to get it. They're starting to feel a little bit better. Then they have that sense of mastery, like, wow, I'm really getting this now. And that has a really great tie into how they feel about themselves as a person. So a lot of emotional benefit to them coming to your program as well. Vocation or sense of purpose, we talk about this during the course of how having people play an active role in your class, whether that's handing out the water, taking attendance, cleaning up equipment, setting up chairs, will really help to drive your program adherence. And it really helps to get your participants to feel like they're part of a community rather than just a participant, sitting or standing, taking part in a class. And then social. So right now we are in a group, but what's happening? I'm doing most of the talking, right? We've had a little bit of back and forth in the chat and live, but for the most part, I'm up here, I'm doing all the talking. And when you're teaching, you're doing the same thing, right? You're at the front of the room, you're talking. We might be in a group, but we're not being super social. And so we do talk about in your training how to create that social connectedness as part of your class, which again will help with program adherence with your participants too. And especially with StrongerU Circuit, partner work, group work, teamwork, getting people to actually be able to look at each other, connect, know someone else's name, and to truly create those social connections. That is so great about group fitness and people coming together. And then last but not least, the spiritual dimension of wellness, mostly through StrongerU Stretch with that guided relaxation at the end, that purposeful breathing, and that mindfulness. Uh, You're going to get these slides, so I'm not going to go through this too much because time is just ticking away here. But every enrollment in the StrongerU instructor course gains access to this program as well as a program we developed a few years ago. It's a 14-week program designed to empower your participants to move their bodies and take control of their physical activity habits. So it's a self-management program. If you've ever heard of diabetes self-management or pain self-management, it's an education component paired with your StrongerU classes. And it's a 75-page plus facilitator manual where you get all the education to be able to deliver the program, facilitate the sessions, do the whole thing, posters, it's everything. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to reply to Amanda's email and we can give you more information about that. All right, in terms of pricing, your registration includes your enrollment in the course and your first year of monthly class content. Cost is $370 US, 466 Canadian. And we have something called annual turnover protection. So if you're thinking about getting an assistant or a team of people you support certified, one of the biggest barriers that we often hear to people wanting to invest in their team is they don't know if they're going to be around 3 months, 6 months, 9 months from now. And so we've had this basically nearly since the beginning, where if you have a team member who you enroll in the course and they leave their role within 1 year, you just send us an email and we will transfer their enrollment to your new hire at no additional cost. So this is how you can ensure your investment in your team is protected. We don't want the seniors that you serve to go without just because you can't risk spending money on a staff member to give them the tools and education to do this. So invest with confidence, give them the tools so your participants can experience this. And if they disappear on you, don't worry about it. You're going to hire someone new and go ahead and pass it on. Yeah. Oh, Anthony, do you have a question? Or you're just stretching. Oh, you're good? Okay. Awesome. Oh, and then renewal. 216 Canadian, 172 USD for your continued education and class content. So other organizations would typically require continuing education credits, and then you pay your renewal fee. With us, all your continuing education is built in, your new class content is built in, and so it's just a flat renewal fee that includes everything. All right. When we do have a monthly payment plan option, again, we just listen to you guys. Some say, "Hey, I can't fit the big cost into my budget, but I could fit a smaller monthly cost into my budget." So we have that available as well if that's something that works better. In terms of the benefits, this is a great slide to share with your management if you need to get approval from someone to take this course. We do see that those who become StrongerU instructors have healthier, happier residents or participants, increased length of stay and participation. So that goes right to the bottom line of the organization you're working with. Also, we see increased referral rate because people will talk to someone who's maybe new into your program, new living in your community, and they'll say like, "Whoa, John, you're looking really great. I thought you moved into that retirement community." And John's like, "Yeah, I'm taking these Stronger You classes. I'm feeling strong. I'm working out." And people start to talk and they're like, "Wow, yeah, John moved into XYZ community and he's looking really good." And so that starts to get around. And so we see really positive impact from that too. And then in terms of the savings, if sometimes we see that people are feeling like they're not able to facilitate fitness, and so it's something they're paying people to come in and teach, a lot of times we've seen instructors take this on themselves. And so now they are the in-house fitness expert and they don't have to pay money to bring in fitness instructors. Now, I always say with that, don't go and fire your participants or your residents' favorite instructors. That's not what I'm saying. But if you can now offer better quality classes, because you have this training, which is a lot of times what we do see, maybe you're able to use those funds elsewhere. Okay. What our instructors say, 9 out of 10 is the average score, 10 out of 10 is the most commonly awarded score. A lot of words on this page, but just to summarize, the first person was someone who was brand new to teaching fitness. They were using YouTube videos, and so they were so excited when their company adopted Stronger U and they knew exactly what to teach. And the second quote is what I would call an expert. They've been teaching fitness for over 30 years. They are quite aware of what needs to be offered. They have a whole team of fitness instructors who have basically just as much experience as they do, 20, 30 years. And their whole team is Stronger U certified because they like getting that high quality class content to just learn and teach to their group. So whether you are someone who, you're wanting to improve your fitness abilities, or you've been doing this for a long time or anywhere in between, we have people with all levels of experience and education who have taken our course and who really, really enjoy the impact it makes on their programming. Okay, this is what I've been kind of excited about the whole time to talk about. I'm only going to talk about it for a minute because we are at the end here. So hopefully you can stick around. We're going to do the wheel for the 50% off in just a second. But starting September 8th, we are launching a new program called Stand Up to Falls. Okay, this is in preparation for Falls Prevention Month, which takes place in November. So this special cohort will begin the StrongerU instructor course together on September 8th. They will work through the content and modules. There is special extras, class content and education that's going to go along with this. And the class content is meant for you to deliver in November for Falls Prevention Month. So like there's like a little square here. Gain access to 4 weeks of specialized classes and education, plus you still get your normal 1 year of monthly class content, so you can keep that momentum going long after the program ends. So I am so excited about this. This is going to be really great. When you get these slides, you can already see it's kind of popping up here. You can click on this and it will take you to learn more and to join the waitlist. So definitely go and check that out because this is going to be exciting. This is going to be maybe one of the most exciting things we've done in the whole 7 years of Stronger U. I'm very excited. We are going to be preventing falls. We're going to be starting a movement with so many communities. So definitely check this out. All right, let's recap before we do our wheel. We are the only organization globally to offer you 30 minutes of ongoing class content in a rotation of 4 formats. We're designed for both senior living and community settings. And that's important because if you teach, just wherever you're able to get contracted, it opens more doors for you than a lot of certifications out there that are only designed for community dwelling seniors, YMCAs, gyms, fitness centers like that. So you will have a greater span of knowledge for different types of abilities and ages of older adults to work with, from, like I said, skilled nursing, long-term care, all the way up to that community dwelling senior who's driving themselves to the fitness class and is in, pretty good shape. Annual turnover protection, so your investment is protected, and that holistic class content incorporating those 6 dimensions of wellness. Okay, I'm going to stop share for a moment while I get the wheel up here. I'm also going to put this in the chat too. This is the Stand Up for Falls link, and that way, while I'm putting the wheel up, if you want to go there, you can. Okay, Anthony, Daphne, Jennifer, Tracy. Okay, good. We've got everyone. I'll reshare here. Okay, here we go. For 50% off enrollment, we do this every info session. Oh, it's not until the confetti goes. Confetti! Awesome. Congratulations. So Amanda will have a special code for you in your follow-up email. So stay tuned for that. Oh, sorry, Zoom's in the way here. Let me stop share for a moment and reshare my slides. Um, okay, so I know we're 3 minutes over now. If you do have to jump off, we will continue recording just the little end part I'm going to do here. I do just want to, this will be in your email as well. If you need help to get this conversation going with your boss, management, whoever, this will help you to get that conversation going. It's a draft email template, or just you could speak the words as well. And if you are interested in our Drum for Seniors instructor course, that is a unique combination of drumming and mindfulness together. And that info session is next Thursday, July 30th. So we're going to talk all about that program next Thursday, 12:30 Eastern Time. Again, when you get the slides, you can click right in here to register for that session. And again, another person's getting 50% off. So if you're interested in that, that is next week. All right, that's officially all of my slides. So already a question from Jennifer. Awesome. Can you start anytime? Yes. Yep. You can start the course anytime, and there's no time limit on when you have to complete it. We get that question a lot too, because sometimes life just throws you something and you're not able to get it done in the span you thought you were going to. So register at any time, start at any time, and complete it according to your schedule. Yeah, during COVID, we had some people who, like a year and a half later, said, I signed up for this course. Can I keep going? Yeah, you can. We don't see that as much anymore, but we used to see it. Any other questions, guys? Don't be shy. You're welcome, Tracy. Thank you. All right. Well, if anything pops up afterwards, sometimes we hit end on these meetings and you're like, oh, I forgot to ask that. Amanda will be sending you out an email with more of the slides, the recording, and sort of next steps information. So feel free, hit reply to that email, and Amanda is happy to answer any questions that you might have. Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.